was the Prince of Darkness, the face of heavy metal, the man who bit the head off a bat on stage and somehow made the whole world love him for it. Ozzy Osbourne's story is wilder, sadder, and more triumphant than most people realize. If rock and roll history is a subject that keeps pulling you back, consider subscribing so you never miss a video like this. Number 10. The sacking that started everything. In December of 1979, Ozzy Osbourne was fired from Black Sabbath. Not eased out, not given a graceful exit. Fired while reportedly deep in the grip of substance abuse that had become impossible for the band to manage. The dismissal felt at the time like a full stop at the end of a career. He was nearly 31 years old, and his most famous band had decided he was finished. The band replaced him almost immediately with Ronnie James Dio, a singer with a more polished vocal range, and recorded Heaven and Hell, released in April of 1980, which sold well and reinforced the sense that Black Sabbath had made the right call. Meanwhile, Ozzy was adrift in a Los Angeles hotel room, running up enormous bills and, by his own account, doing little beyond drinking and watching television for weeks on end. Don Arden, who managed both Black Sabbath and Ozzy at that point, had essentially washed his hands of him. The industry consensus was blunt. Ozzy Osbourne was a liability nobody needed. What happened next defied every expectation. Sharon Arden, daughter of his manager Don Arden, saw something in Ozzy that the rest of the industry had written off. She took over his management, rebuilt him from the ground up, and within 2 years had helped launch one of the most successful solo careers in hard rock history. She also married him in 1982, a partnership that would prove to be the defining relationship of his life, professionally and personally. Number 9. Randy Rhoads and the Crash That Broke the Music World. By 1981, Ozzy had assembled a band around a guitarist named Randy Rhoads, a classically trained prodigy from California who was redefining what heavy metal guitar could sound like. The chemistry between them was immediate and extraordinary. 2 studio albums followed in rapid succession, Blizzard of Ozz and Diary of a Madman, records that are still considered landmarks of the genre. Rhoads had studied classical guitar formally and was reportedly taking lessons from local teachers in every city the tour passed through, determined to eventually leave rock music and pursue a degree in classical performance. He was, by every account from bandmates and crew alike, disciplined, serious, and almost entirely unlike the chaos surrounding him on the road. Blizzard of Ozz, released in September of 1980, reached number 7 on the UK charts and eventually sold over 5 million copies in the United States alone. The follow-up, Diary of a Madman, came out in November of 1981 and performed nearly as strongly. The 2 records together established an entirely new commercial and artistic ceiling for what an Ozzy Osbourne project could achieve. On March 19, 1982, Randy Rhoads died in a small plane crash in Leesburg, Florida. He was 25 years old. The pilot of the aircraft had been attempting a low pass over the tour bus while most of the band slept inside. The plane clipped the vehicle and went down. Ozzy has spoken many times about the loss, calling it one of the defining wounds of his life. No guitarist who came after ever quite filled that space, though many tried. Number 8. The Alamo Incident. In February of 1982, Ozzy Osbourne was arrested in San Antonio, Texas, after urinating on the Alamo Cenotaph, a monument that stands near the famous mission and honors those who died defending it. He was wearing one of Sharon's dresses at the time, having had his own clothes confiscated in a bid to keep him from going out. The stunt earned him a lifetime ban from performing in San Antonio, a ban that reportedly lasted for nearly a decade before it was lifted. It became one of the most enduring pieces of his mythology, equal parts embarrassing and absurdly funny in hindsight. Number 7. The Bat. On January 20, 1982, during a concert in Des Moines, Iowa, a fan threw what Ozzy believed was a rubber toy bat onto the stage. He picked it up and bit its head off. It was not a rubber toy. The bat was real and was reportedly alive, or at minimum, recently deceased. Ozzy was rushed to receive a series of rabies shots the following day. He later said he had no idea the animal was real until he felt it move. The moment became instant legend, permanently attaching his name to one of rock history's most bizarre on-stage incidents. Ozzy has said he is not particularly proud of it. The story, however, refuses to die. Number 6. The legal battle over heavy metal and teen suicide. During the 1980s, Ozzy Osbourne was sued twice by families who claimed that his music, specifically the song Suicide Solution from the Blizzard of Ozz album, had contributed to the deaths of young men. The cases drew national media attention and became flashpoints in a broader cultural debate about whether heavy metal music posed a danger to young listeners. Both cases were ultimately decided in Ozzy's favor, with courts finding no direct causal link between the music and the tragedies. Ozzy and his supporters noted that Suicide Solution was actually written about the dangers of alcohol abuse, partly as a response to the death of AC/DC singer Bon Scott in 1980. The legal battles were exhausting, expensive, and painful, but they did not silence him. The first lawsuit, filed in 1986 on behalf of the family of 19-year-old John McCollum, argued that backward messages embedded in the recording had encouraged self-destruction. A California court dismissed the case, ruling that song lyrics are protected speech under the First Amendment. The second suit, filed in 1990 on behalf of Michael Waller's family in Georgia, reached a similar conclusion. The proceedings nonetheless fed a national panic that resulted in congressional hearings and the creation of the Parental Advisory Labeling System, with Sharon Osbourne famously appearing before a Senate committee in 1985 alongside other managers and artists. The irony that a song written as a warning against alcohol killed the conversation around its actual meaning was not lost on Ozzy. Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. It means a lot to see this community coming together from every corner of the world. Number 5. The decades of addiction. Ozzy Osbourne has been publicly candid about his struggles with alcohol and drug dependency over a period spanning several decades. His substance use began during the Black Sabbath years and continued with periods of sobriety and relapse well into the 2000s. In 2003, he publicly acknowledged entering treatment again. In 2019, following a serious fall and a series of health setbacks, he revealed that he had remained sober for an extended stretch. Sharon Osbourne has spoken in interviews about the toll those years took on their family, describing periods when the situation seemed genuinely hopeless. That Ozzy remained a functioning recording and performing artist through much of that period is a testament to both his resilience and to Sharon's relentless advocacy on his behalf. Number 4. The reality show that rewrote his image.
I love you all. I love you more than life itself. You're a f***ing man.
In 2002, MTV launched a reality series called The Osbournes, following Ozzy, Sharon, and 2 of their children, Kelly and Jack, through daily life at their Beverly Hills home. The show was an immediate and overwhelming success, drawing audiences who expected spectacle and instead found something warmer and stranger, a genuinely dysfunctional but clearly loving family navigating chaos together.
To be on the f***ing stage for 2 nights from now. I don't want to use them f***ing bubbles and f***ing stupid cannons.
Ozzy shuffling around in his bathrobe, muttering, losing his dogs, and being gently redirected by Sharon at every turn became one of the most recognizable figures on American television.
Sit up. There, you want to rinse out? You want to rinse out? How about taking a rinse? Why don't you take a rinse? I think you'll feel better.
The show ran for 4 seasons and fundamentally altered public perception of him, softening the Prince of Darkness into something more human and considerably more lovable. The premiere episode drew 4.7 million viewers, a record for an MTV unscripted series at the time, and by season 2 that number had climbed past 7 million. Sharon was diagnosed with colon cancer during production of the second season, and the cameras kept rolling through her treatment, adding a layer of genuine emotional stakes that no scripted show could have manufactured. Kelly Osbourne released a debut album during the show's run, and Jack became a visible personality in his own right. The cultural footprint was enormous. Saturday Night Live parodied the family repeatedly, and Ozzy was invited to the White House Correspondents' Dinner in 2002, where President George W. Bush greeted him by name and called him a fantastic showman, a moment that still confounds easy categorization. Number 3. Parkinson's disease, the fall, and the health battles.
A mild form of Osbourne.
It's Parkinson, which is a form of Parkinson's.
In January of 2020, Ozzy Osbourne publicly disclosed that he had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, specifically a form known as PRKN2, which his doctors had identified following a serious fall in 2019. The fall itself had aggravated a spinal injury he had sustained years earlier in an all-terrain vehicle accident. The combination of complications required multiple surgeries. He was open about the difficulty of the period, telling interviewer Robin Roberts that he had been through a dark and frightening stretch. He also underwent treatment in Switzerland for his neurological condition. The announcements were met with an outpouring of support from fans who had followed his career for 40 or 50 years. Number 2, the final record. In 2022, Ozzy Osbourne released an album called Patient Number 9, widely regarded by critics as one of the strongest records of his solo career. The guest list alone was staggering, featuring contributions from guitarists including Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, and Tony Iommi, among others. Beck, who died in January of 2023, played on the title track in what became one of his final studio recordings. Ozzy recorded much of the album while managing ongoing health issues, and the emotional weight of those circumstances is audible throughout. He followed it with a public announcement that he would no longer be able to tour, citing his physical condition as the reason. The album stands as a genuine farewell statement from an artist who had every reason to have given up decades earlier. Number 1. The return to Birmingham. In the summer of 2023, Ozzy Osbourne returned to Birmingham, England, the city where he was born and where Black Sabbath first formed in the late 1960s. He made a surprise appearance at the closing ceremony of the Commonwealth Games, performing alongside surviving members of Black Sabbath before a crowd of tens of thousands. He had to perform seated due to his physical condition, but the reception was thunderous. Birmingham is a city that has always claimed him fiercely, and the moment carried genuine emotional weight for everyone present. A boy from Aston, one of the city's rougher neighborhoods, who had grown up poor and written off by nearly everyone, returning home to a hero's welcome. Whatever else the story of Ozzy Osbourne contains, it ends, for now, on that note. And it is a good one.